Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Cipher Digital, and it seems they rebranded from Cipher Mining. Now that doesn't really matter, the chart remains the same and it is time for another update. So here we have been tracking a couple of interpretations, and the white structure has been more of a hopium scenario where we had a double 1-2-1-2 setup. Very difficult to even consider this appropriate. And not only that, but already we are starting to see the structure fail in creating this wave 3 to the upside. Now, I don't really regret tracking this interpretation. This is the most possibly bullish pattern we could be tracking based on the given structure. And I would have been looking for a potential impulse to form within this area, even if I didn't track this white structure, because the wave A that we are tracking in the orange interpretation, part of a larger leading diagonal, would have been able itself to extend in the idea of an impulse. Now, we would need to assume that a top could be in place at any time, and we would need to be tracking the larger area of support that would need to be present in case of a failure, because no continuation of a trend is ever guaranteed. So we had both scenarios here on the chart. Now, we have been focusing on the white scenario. We would have liked to see such an impulse form, but it's not necessarily the most likely interpretation anymore, as within a correction, a supposed wave 4 in this area, we are starting to see strong disproportions, and we were tracking here, it seems, an internal extension in wave 3 to the upside. Well, even if this is to still work out, I would probably consider this to be the larger wave 3 already in place. Doesn't really matter, it's just a small detail where I would look for one less high. I really cannot track an extension of this structure directly to the upside anymore. And we have this area of support that actually allows, in this case, a correction down to the $10.8, but still, the levels of support are not even the main issue. The main concern for us now should be the disproportion, where it looks quite bad. It starts to become a little bit unrealistic, and not only that, but within the smaller time frame here, we have been looking for an initial 5-wave move to the downside within this wave A in a leading diagonal, which was suggesting with high probabilities that after a 3-wave correction into the area of resistance, we should expect at the very least another 5-wave move to the downside. And we have been tracking that in the previous video. We were looking for this wave C to be forming, but it seems it took a rather different route, and we didn't manage to build here the wave 5 to complete the structure to form the wave 4 reset and look for the 5th wave more reliably. So right now, I have to consider that this even more likely is going to build an even larger pattern to the downside. And it's not that it's impossible to create a reversal from the current structure, but I find it actually rather unlikely, and I would need to break relevant levels of resistance for a signal that this wouldn't actually be the case. So technically, we are still holding the area of support in white, but for me this is already a very, very low probability interpretation. It is helped a little bit by the fact that we had quite a healthy uptrend, quite a nice push within this movement to the upside that would typically allow the correction even in a wave 4 to extend more than you would look for the typical proportions to align. So again, we can still track this area of support, but for me it's not a high probability interpretation anymore, and I'm looking for this wave C to the downside to unfold. Now, the fact that this white scenario has become such a low probability structure brings to light the fact that from a large time frame perspective, we are within an extremely unreliable pattern. In the best case scenario, this is a wave A up, we are looking for a B wave down, and we are looking for the C wave to the upside at the moment. And even in that case, it would still be only part of a larger leading diagonal in the best case scenario. So I wanted to briefly mention that if you want to get access to our monthly top picks where we identify for you high quality structures, you can check out our channel newsletter. The link for sign up is in the description and it is completely free. All you need to do is sign up, you will get a list, you can then follow it along with us on YouTube, or you can even use it on your own to position, but the assets there will be our approved trade setup watch list, Now, some of them are already within their areas of support, some of them are looking to head there, and we have quite a nice and healthy list already, which we will be sending out this weekend. Now let's get back to the chart. So here within this structure to the downside, we are looking at a wave B, which typically could be any corrective pattern, but since within this initial movement to the downside we have a leading diagonal, it is strongly suggesting to be an ABC structure, a zigzag correction. So I'm still looking for a wave C in this area. I'm looking still for a 5-wave pattern to unfold, and I would consider this to be a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, and I would be looking now to be still within the wave 3 to the downside, and I'm tracking this as an ending diagonal, yeah? And within this ending diagonal, within this wave 3, I'm looking for an ABC pattern to be unfolding to complete the structure, and I would be watching the area of resistance at the levels between the $15 all the way up to the $17.9, and it seems we have pushed into the last level of resistance that would be expected for such a pattern, and already we got rejected a couple of times. Now, the ideal target for the wave C is the 100% extension of the wave A that would sit at the $11.6, $11.5 area, yeah? Then the ideal target for the overall wave 3 we are tracking here in yellow is the 138.2% extension of the wave 1 that is at the $10.8 level, exactly on top of the 50% retracement. Now, we don't expect to form a bottom there if this structure is to play out as we have here laid out on the chart, which is our strongly preferred interpretation. But this is not necessarily the main focus at the moment. We are looking for this wave C to be unfolding within a 5-wave pattern. On the flip side, if we manage to break through the 78.6% retracement at the $17.9 level, we need to reconsider our positioning on this chart. We might need to consider even that this could have been a triangle in a wave B in something like an A, B, C, D, E that could allow a completion of the triangle, and for this to actually be a wave C to the downside complete. I don't really have a problem with this structure, but it's definitely not the most clear wave C we would be tracking in this area, but yeah, what can you do? Distortions do happen, and it is within a very small time frame. Now, again, that is for the idea of a break above the $17.9. We can then start looking for potentially a more direct breakout, but below that, the pressure strongly remains on this continuation of the wave C to the downside. And in terms of support, we could be looking here down to the 78.6% retracement, although I don't see this structure that has formed to the upside as anything of a high probability, anything more than an ABC pattern. So I'm watching for a potential extension within a larger ending diagonal in a wave 5 in a 1-2 setup in this area. The support zone ends at the $13.6, and we are looking for the reversal to happen against that level, where a break below that would rather suggest that this wave C to the downside would already be unfolding. Now, also to be clear, this wave B top could be applicable. We could allow it to be here as well, even though it's not necessarily the peak, but I don't have a strong preference on this at the moment. And other than that, we can highlight also the area of support we are tracking for the wave B in orange. It extends down to the $3.3 level, but once again, this is not a high probability structure. We will need to identify within a smaller time frame a reliable pattern, for example, an initial 5-wave move to the upside. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and you want to support us, don't forget to check out our channel membership, where you even get access to additional content and priority to stock coverages when there is a video slot open. And other than that, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.